gray, the city's kids come out to play, running in the broken glass of old deserted windows. Dollar winos fill the street, the pool room music soulful beat engulfs the gray and dirty air in the inner city limit. Children running hopeless heaps along the dirty junkie street, women sell themselves to men through roofless theaters. Sidewalk cracks are deep and wide, the children kneel to look inside for pennies, maybe nickels dropped in passing. Live the lives like others pass, the winos drink, the pimps sell ass. Little girls 10 years ago are older now by 20. Social change, you talk, a thing you say in urban walks make you sick to lose your lunch inside your high-rise diner. Make the buds, you're on demand, you're holding down where you can stand. One of these days you'll get yours aplenty. One of these days you'll get yours aplenty. One of these days you'll get yours aplenty. One of these days you'll get yours aplenty.
Makes me want to do something. She better not pay. Yeah, no, I tried all those things. I tried different Wi-Fi. I tried phone service. I tried everything. It seems that, I don't know, you know how Parler sucks, right? It's a shit platform, but it's important, it's vital, and I can never get it to work when I really need it to. I can't get it to work when I'm doing a show to raise money for the defense of one of our journalists for covering DC Stop the Steal. Hopefully a lot of people over the last couple days have followed and turned on their notifications for when we go live, because it's kind of now more important than ever. And I'm shaming you if you haven't, but you're not watching this, but I'll put it on a replay, so hopefully you'll see it then. There's, as the beast has progressed, as the craziness ensues, as the government finally chooses to crack down on what they call domestic terrorism. They've been very tight-lipped before DC, before using that phrase and it actually meaning something. There's a big push now to censor media, including mainstream media outlets, not just your typical cable news. And sorry, I got a little distracted. I'm getting a text constantly. The latest one I just got, which I already knew about and I have pulled up, we'll just get right into it. We don't have time to babble today. We don't have time to babble anymore. If all you're watching is this and then you turn it off, know this. Their plan now is to divide you, and you cannot let that happen. They are going to say a lot of things about what you currently view as your side, and they're going to do that so you will no longer view your side as your side. And make no mistake, you have a side now. It's us or it's them. That's it. That's it. Stop focusing on the distraction groups, the Antifas and BLMs and the Marxist movement. The monster has reared its ugly head, and you've all seen it. And if you don't believe me, we will get into it now. Let's just start out with the breaking news I just got, and we will show you how they're going to continue to try to pull this off. And unless you wake up and just drop the fear, just stop being afraid. The reason you're scared now is because your government, in my opinion, has become, for a long time now, but it's more apparent in these last few days than ever, that the government is narcissistic, insane dictators. And as I say that, I think in my head, can I say that? Is that something I can say? That lets me know right there, the system is absolutely tyrannical. We're questioning now what we can get away with saying, and I shouldn't even say get away. We're questioning now, is that free speech? Is what I'm saying going to get me in trouble? That's a tyrannical government. Right there, there's your example. And speaking of free speech, and as of right now, I'm no fan of really defending this man at this point, because when it came time to be defended, he kind of sold his base out. And you're going to see this happen, as you've already seen it happen with a lot of your political celebrities and whatnot. But here we go. They have suspended the account of the President of the United States. They did not wait till the 20th. He is now a dangerous dissident, according to them, according to your tech giants. And you will no longer be hearing from him on Twitter. Let's hope he goes to Parler. Or maybe even, I've heard Gab is trying to woo him right now. Oh, sorry about the little hand there. Is it serious enough for you yet? Do you think there's a play here yet? Do you still think it's all just conspiracy theory? All you people that have been riding the fence? You still think, oh no, like how many times have you told yourself and others, no, it's not a conspiracy. There's not some dark underbelly of the government that's controlled by tech giants, corporations. By the way, Chevron has spoken out now against the attacks on the Capitol. So thank God big oil weighed in, everybody. So buy your gas at Chevron. Yeah, like what? Why are these people chiming in if they're not invested? I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's pretty clear that your government is owned by corporations. Your son of a bitch. I got to check D Live. I think we might have been removed from there too. But I just got that and that says we're not connecting that. So it's a little conspiratorial to say, oh, well, D Live is censoring us or whatever. But let's be honest, it's a shit platform. No, it says it's working. It says we're online. I will double check though. Sorry it has to interrupt the show. I was on a roll. We had videos to go through. But I'm not going to take it off the table that it's possible. We have been censored from D Live. Let's check it out. Yep, we're not on D Live.
Go to the dashboard.
That one? Yeah, still sending data.
Check it and uncheck it.
Hang on. I have to go back to that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What we'll do is we'll record it and then we'll send it out anyway. On Telegram. One of the last bastions, who the owner says, oh, we're not selling and we won't be intimidated by any government in the world. So respect to Telegram for that. What else do we got? Well, nobody can see it. Here's a tweet from Ted Cruz. These are the people that you've been championing to defend you while in Washington. He says, Devastating. Heidi and I are lifting up in prayer the family of the U.S. Capitol Police officer who tragically lost his life keeping us safe. He was a true hero. I still haven't heard what happened to the man. I've heard rumors that he had a heart attack. What I do know is after what happened at the Capitol, he did return from duty to his station or wherever, and that's where he died. Yesterday's terrorist attack was a horrific assault on our democracy. Every terrorist needs to be fully prosecuted. So your representative just called you a terrorist. And I know some of you, probably not most of you, probably not even, 10% of you are going, well, stop making excuses for these people not representing you. Now the people that represent you are calling you domestic terrorists. There's not a problem. Everything's cool. It's not a problem. And that was in response to Frank Thorpe, a Capitol Police officer, has died after being injured by a protester in the Capitol on January 6th. Now, I guess Ted Cruz doesn't have any sympathies for the woman who was murdered by what appeared to be maybe Secret Service. I don't know if you've all seen the video. I've seen 3 angles of it. This woman was shot in the neck from a distance of what looked like 4 to 5 feet, not engaging with the man holding a gun who just shot her. He will probably be given a medal for stopping a white supremacist domestic terror rage campaign against the Capitol. So a lot of us apparently have been deemed extremists, dissidents, seditionists, insurrectionists, and domestic terrorists. And personally, I'm just going to say, no, I'm not. I think, I know that the government, in my opinion, I won't put words in other people's mouth, I'll speak for myself. I think that the government has become a terrorist organization. And maybe has been for a long time. They've terrorized many, many other countries and nations with violence and murder and destruction to profit United States military contractors. Is that illegal to say? I don't know anymore. Can I give my opinion? I think the United States government terrorizes its own citizens on a daily basis. And I think the United States government has yet to step in until yesterday, when its own citizens were being terrorized by actual self-described extremists and seditionists and insurrectionists. And all the Twitter checks can try to defend those organizations all they want, but everybody here knows that this is not a secret. They can cover for it all they want. And personally, I'm fine with those people. I'm fine with the people on the left doing what they're doing. What I'm not fine with is a government that does not apply the law equally. And the government that waited until it was their area that the groups got too close to before they ever decided to do anything. Who's to blame? Who's to blame? All I can look at is go, who's been in charge this whole time? And a lot of people would say Trump. But Trump doesn't actually make the laws. Don't forget that. And you saw Trump try to do a lot of things that were overturned by both Republicans and Democrats. And I think a lot of those things this audience agreed with. So it's hard to sit here and pontificate on everything that has happened and try not to go to jail doing it. They will be cracking down on media. I think the knock at the door is coming any day now, and that's how they do it. This is no different than the Stasi. This is no different than any communist secret police. I mean, let's not bring politics into it. Let's just bring government tactics into it. Oppressive, dictatorial government tactics of the past that have been used are being implemented now against United States citizens who might still believe that this is a free country, and I can assure you it is not. And for all the blue checks that want to disagree with me, I hope you're biting your tongue right now because you've been saying the same thing and I'm agreeing with you. This is not a free country. This is not a free society. This is now a This is now a corrupted system that treats you like cattle, and when you stop, or you refuse to be extorted, rather, they just throw you in jail. And they were overwhelmed the other day, and they've been scared ever since. And everybody knows this system and how it works. That you would think that to a rational, normal person, change was made, and that government might have said to itself, "Oh, our citizens are very angry with us. Maybe we should look into figuring out why." But they're not going to do that. They've already begun arresting people. They've already been sending out their goon squads to people who were in the Capitol peacefully protesting. And the videos are out there on Telegram. You can check them out on Murder the Media's Telegram. But I encourage you to go join other channels on Telegram. There's a lot of them out there. And a lot of them put up really good stuff about what's going on. Before you ever saw or even heard it on the news, all the videos of the Capitol were up on Telegram. And as of right now, I can say I trust Telegram. I don't trust anything considered to be even semi-mainstream. So, get on there if you want to. If you want to get the uneditorialized version as soon as it happens, join Telegram. And that's my little plug for Telegram, who I have a lot of faith and confidence in as of right now. So I want to prove that they are coming for us. They're coming for you.
Tucker
They're coming
Carlson
for
was
your
arguing against the renaming
media. So this was a video that was acquired on Telegram, where you don't have to pay for cable news if you don't want to, which I don't know why you would be.
When Tucker Carlson was arguing against the renaming of military bases named after Confederate generals and against the tearing down of Confederate statues, he said, quote, "A country is the sum total of its history, good and bad." He said, quote, "Eliminating the past leaves us unable to say who we are." Well, he's trying to eliminate the present, and he is spoon-feeding it to millions of hungry viewers who tune into his show. Healthy societies do not destroy their own history, he said last summer. But what he didn't cop to is that he is part of the illness, a propagandist, a liar, a parasite.
This reads like 1984, ladies and gentlemen. They say, this guy is a propagandist. I hope, Jesus Christ, I hope you realize what propaganda is and that I just played it for you. This is classic propaganda. The United States government controls the media narrative. Insurrection? Did CNN ever call the people calling for insurrection while they burned cities and took over city blocks and called them autonomous zones? Did they ever call them insurrectionists? I gotta bite my tongue. I really do. I really do. But it doesn't go unnoticed who was not only complicit, but has been encouraging these things, these very terrible things going on in this country. It should not be lost on you. I think that people do need to be held responsible for what's been happening. And I think if you've been complicit in tyranny, you need another look as well. Especially fomenting actual dissent and actual destruction. The Capitol that was insurrected. Nobody had guns. They had guns. The police there had guns. I mean, naturally, I'm not mad at them for having guns. I'm mad at them for murdering a woman. A woman whose name is now being dragged through the mud already. One day later, the story is being published about her and like a domestic incident she had however long ago. That's what they're talking about. They're not mentioning her service to the country, which, by the way, I wouldn't be joining the military if I were you guys. I do respect the military as far as the soldiers go. But that said, our military has been used to terrorize other nations for a while now. We can't win wars. They send our troops there with their hands tied behind their back. They cheer on war. The same people you just saw berate Tucker Carlson for daring to not call this an insurrection, which it wasn't. It was citizens doing, in my opinion, their duty to try to keep this country safe from, to be cliche, from enemies foreign and domestic. It's a very defeating time, but that's how they want you to feel. They want you to feel defeated. They want you to feel scared. They want you to feel like you're on your back foot, but they're on their back foot right now. It's so scary doing this. Like I feel like in a day or two, you know, as I'm at a black site and they're playing this video back to me, going, "Did you say that?" And I'll be like, "Well, I mean, it's on video. Like, why are you asking me that? Is that some sort of weird questioning tactic?" But I mean, it's in a weird way, it just justifies my position that something is very wrong. Something's very wrong. And I ask myself, what happens next? And all I can come up with is, you just got to wait and see. Because they come for you. They come for you when you're alone. But maybe I don't want to be arrested. Maybe I don't want to participate in a tyrannical system. Maybe I don't want to be accused of being a political dissident against an authoritarian state, because that's a very dangerous place to be. Matter of fact, I posted something the other day to Parler about the Stasi, which was the German police in the 1950s and beyond, and some of the tactics they would use against political dissidents. And it was very similar to today. But one thing that has been abundantly clear for years now is that the United States media, what's considered the legitimate press, the mainstream media, are propaganda artists. They are the propaganda arm of the United States government, and they tell you that they're a free press, and they are liars. They're not a free press. Why would a free press advocate for war when this last president, Donald Trump, tried to get us out of war? Why would, for the first time in history, the left wing be pushing to stay in conflict around the globe? Because they're propagandists. I thought for a long time they're shooting themselves in the foot, because I go, there's no way people can't see this. But I guess they didn't see it. I think that's the problem with picking a team versus just being realistic. I think that's the problem with going, well, I'm on the right or I'm on the left. Make no mistake, the mainstream media did a great job at putting you into those two camps to fight against one another. People say, why is there so much division today? Because it was created. This is created division. This is not an accident. You feel the way you do about your fellow citizens and want to hold them accountable to some non-existent standard. All the while, the people that were in control of the entire mismanagement of everything, and the people that were in control of pitting you against each other, never get a second look. You are just a representation of your team. You're a representation of your side. It's okay to look at your own side and say there's something wrong here. And to the left-wing side, I just want people to be aware of how hypocritical you are. The same people that are calling for the abolition of laws and prisons and police are the same people calling the police on dissidents. And this has to happen in order for the government to remain in power, for the media to remain in power. You must keep fighting amongst yourselves for the scraps. Peasants. Let's see if we can find any similarities here. 10 terrifying facts about the East German secret police. Number 1, they were gaslighting before it was a thing. The Stasi were prolific gaslighters. In the 1950s, repression was brutal. Physical torture. Early in the 1970s, eager to be accepted on the international stage, the East German secret police had to get more subtle. The aim of the Zersetzung, a repurposed military term meaning disintegration or corrosion, was to switch off any activist, individuals, or group who might threaten the party. Police collected medical, school, and police records, interviews with neighbors and relatives, and any other evidence they could get, and would then customize a direct hit on an individual's mental health. So expect this to happen, except it probably won't be the Stasi, it'll be the Neo-Stasi, which are your fellow social media-ites, in conjunction with your mainstream media that cannot wait to take one individual and make an example out of that person so other people get the message and don't dare speak against them. It's psychological warfare. You are going to see people that were in D.C. be fucking destroyed. But it's not to enforce laws. It's to reinforce in your mind what happens if you step out of line. If someone looked like he might challenge the Communist Party's legitimacy or control, the Stasi systematically destroyed his life. They used blackmail, social shame, threats and torture, careers, reputations, careers, by the way, your ability to make money. They take that and they make it very hard for you to make a living. Sorry, I lost my spot. Anyway, some forms of harassment were almost comical. Agents spread rumors about their targets, flooded their mailboxes with pornography, moved things around in their apartment, or deflated their bicycle tires day after day. You don't need the Stasi to do that. Now your neighbors that don't agree with your political affiliation do that for them. Others were life-altering. Individuals labeled as subversives were banned from higher education. Have you noticed people being kicked out of college? What for? What were they kicked out for? Forced into unemployment. And forcibly committed to asylums. I don't know if we've seen that yet, but it's early on. Many suffering long-term psychological trauma, loss of earnings, and intense social shame as a result of Stasi lies. Now, I can already hear the mainstream media propagandists and their boot-licking cohorts who think they're anti-establishment, but they're not, saying, well, they weren't lies. They weren't lies. These people really did those things. So I'm justified. You keep thinking that, but one day they will come for you. But that means nothing. That's not a deterrent to you people. You don't give a shit. They were almost everywhere. The Stasi had 91,000 employees at its peak. Roughly 1 in every 30 residents was a Stasi agent. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Vil, you said that the citizens outnumber police 1,000 to 1. Yeah, but I don't think all Stasi agents were necessarily paid agents of the state. A lot of people volunteer for this shit current day. There are agents, agent provocateurs, and agents that are willing to destroy you because you don't align with their political ideology. They don't need to be paid to be members of the modern day Stasi. They're your blue checks. They're your neighbors. They're people who just don't agree with you, and you've seen, this is the most terrifying thing about the left, they are so ready, despite you never calling for violence against them, they're ready to see you die, call for it every day, try to destroy your life every day, and these people don't get paid for it. They just think it's their job to do that. They think it's their job to have you fucking murdered, and they won't regret it when it happens. More than 1 in 3 East Germans, 5.6 million. 1 in 3, ladies and gentlemen. How does that sound modern day if you were to juxtapose that on, let's say, Republicans / right-wing people? 5.6 million was under suspicion or surveillance with an open Stasi file. How about all these doxing accounts that keep all your information and everything? That's cool, right? You should probably start being afraid of them in the best way. Another 500,000 were feeding the Stasi information. Pay attention to that. Pay very close attention to that. 500,000 were feeding the Stasi information. So I know people act like, well, no, I was going to say, I know people don't necessarily know that that's what they're doing, but let's be honest, that's what they're doing. That is what, they know that they're doing that. So your fellow citizens are the same ones that will be putting you on trains and celebrating, popping champagne. And as of right now, I'll put it like this, you're better off than they are for now. But if nobody pushes back against these fucking crazy people, it will continue to happen. You have to demand dignity. You have to demand respect. You've got none. This level of surveillance and infiltration caused East Germans to live in terror. Do you feel terrorized yet? I do. You really never knew if you could trust anyone. And this is a shout out to all the people in these groups that were created by the FBI that are going to be picked off and shut down and made examples of. You can't just trust people you don't know. The Stasi is alive and well, and it's your American law enforcement agencies. And they are trying to make examples of you because they know that if they can make an example out of one person in a group of 1,000, the other 1,000 are way less likely to keep demanding their rights. Though most had no idea of the scope of these activities until after the Berlin Wall fell. You won't know, you won't believe what I'm telling you, despite having all the evidence in your face, until it's already too late. And then we'll look back in the future at some point when another revolution takes place, however many years down the road, and maybe the power dynamic shifts. And then you'll all go, oh yeah, they did all these things and it was all secret and blah, blah, blah. I doubt it was really as secret as they portray it in the 1950s and beyond in East Germany. I think people are aware of it, but they're afraid to do anything about it. They kept a crazy amount of meticulous records. Now, this was back when everything was handwritten. The algorithms keep your records now. It's so important for them to keep your records that they build $1 billion water-cooled facilities in Utah just to store your info. They let private companies control it. Weird, right? Your government letting Amazon be the harbingers of all your private information? These companies that are constantly hacked? But they'd probably tell you, oh, well, it's cheaper for the government to contract with Amazon to store all this information. Yeah, no conflict of interest there, right? Stasi files laid out together would cover about 69 square miles. Recording detailed personal information on a third of the populace required a tremendous amount of paper. More pages of printed text were generated by the Stasi than by all German authors from Middle Ages to World War II. Thousands of citizens were targeted as anti-government troublemakers. Their homes were searched, phones and cars, if they were lucky enough to have either, were bugged or photographed. Every document went into a personal Stasi file. So far, hundreds of millions of files, 39 million index cards, 1.75 million photographs, 2,800 reels of film, and 28,400 hours of recordings have been recovered from Stasi archives. Millions more were shredded before they could be made public. And this is the modern time. You're your own worst documentarian. All of the pictures you take, they have. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying if you've ever said a crossword or maybe voted for certain people or done anything to catch the eye of the modern day Stasi, you've already given them everything they need to know. And I'm talking about the government Stasi. But just keep in mind, there's plenty of people that aren't part of the government that are doing the same thing, meticulously documenting everything. But here's the deal. Back then, I guarantee the people that were doing that against the citizens of East Germany felt that they were justified. Nobody embraces tyranny and goes, this is great. You're just lulled into thinking that's the right side to be on. You might even be lulled into thinking that that's good. That's the good side. And you won't know until it's too late that it wasn't. I'm telling you right now, and you can believe me or you cannot believe me. I have a feeling you do, because we present more evidence than the mainstream media ever has directly to you, because they won't. I can guarantee you that the government right now, that the blue checks right now, that the media right now are on the wrong side of history. But to the victor go the spoils. To the winners, those are the ones that write history. So it's looking like on this trajectory that if you're not on their side and they continue to pull off this madness, you will be painted historically for the world to know for hopefully not that many more years before a fucking asteroid just destroys this bullshit, that you were a dissident, extremist, domestic terrorist, and you were on the wrong side. You were on the wrong side because you didn't want to be controlled by your government. You were on the wrong side because you didn't agree with the way they were spending your money that they extorted from you. That made you an extremist. Their files are now public. We can skip that one. Oh, they stirred up trouble in the Middle East. I didn't scroll this whole thing. I didn't scroll to this point. But I'm just going to stop at this first line right here for a second and let you check that out. They stirred up trouble in the Middle East. Okay, now it's getting too frighteningly familiar. Hey, left, remember when you used to be against that? Stasi officers were highly influential in the Middle East, recruiting and training at least 1,000 military officers from Iraq, Libya, Syria, Palestine. You can't make this shit up. This is history repeating itself. Wow, my mind is a little blown right now, but I am feeling more and more justified. Hey, left wing, let me point out again, you're for all this shit now. The Stasi taught these foreigner agents how to hijack planes and take hostages. Where the Stasi didn't succeed in placing its own trainees, nowadays they would say its own trannies, it often sought blackmail material that could bend the will of foreign agents. Senior Stasi officers served as gardeners and groundskeepers in valuable embassies, listening in for juicy details. A complex web of West German infiltrators and enemy collaborators was discovered only years later. Remember those old propaganda posters that were like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Stop saying shit. Stop running your mouth. The enemy is listening. They have been. But now they listen through your Alexa and your camera phones. Did you hear that? Did you hear my Alexa just go boom? They paid reparations to their victims, kind of. The Stasi operated its own prison. I'm not even going to try it. No, I'll try it. Hohenschönhausen.
Oh, yes.
Hohenschönhausen. Over 900 former inmates have given testimony about the horror that happened there. But while the Stasi were active, the facility was top secret. The area didn't officially exist and was marked with a blank space on city maps. In reality, most of the country operated as an open-air prison. Sound familiar? Open air prisons. You can go places, but you know you're not free. As few people were allowed to leave the country on exit visas, COVID, the Stasi told the people, doctors, engineers, and skilled workers were induced by refined methods unworthy of the dignity of man to give up their secure existence in the GDR and work in West Germany or Berlin. For their own security, pay attention, for your own health and safety and security, think of all the things that have been done since, let's say, 9/11, right? Don't you feel safer now? Doesn't the country feel so safe? All the trillions of dollars they spent on your security, guys. They spent on your security to make you safe and comfortable in your own nation. All that money you gave, all that money they took from you. I feel so secure right now, everybody. I feel safer than I ever have been. Can we rewind our brains to 9/11? And then start slowly bringing ourselves up to today? Do you really feel more safe? No, I just feel like the terrorists, the government, they became the modern day Al-Qaeda. They fucking terrorize us every day. When you say something against them, they have their minions fucking destroy you willingly. They want it. They're rabid. They can't wait to make an example out of you. It's frightening. But we got to carry on. We got to continue on. Their propaganda was weaponized, sometimes literally. Public schools in East Germany were training grounds for police state compliance. I'm going to let that sink in for a second and hit this vape that the government wants to ban, but they won't ban cigarettes. Not that they should, in my opinion. Think about that. Public schools in East Germany were training grounds for police state compliance. Have you seen the shit in your public funded schools, ladies and gentlemen? Have you seen that? Holy shit. Young children cut and colored paper dolls with a gas mask and AK-47s. Hitler Youth-style groups were established for school children. In the absence of Twitter and text messages, Stasi launched metal coconuts or information rockets full of flyers into the countryside. The people were told the Berlin Wall was a protective barrier against a West German separatist state bent on sabotaging their socialist state. Psychological operations were used to glorify the East German socialist state and smear the immoral, pleasure-seeking capital West. You're all being guilted into your socialist utopia. And you know what? You fucking get what you deserve. I hope you get it. The Stasi banned porn, then filmed their own. Erotica, whether printed or filmed, was banned in East Germany and was pointed to as evidence of the West's decadence and depravity. I kind of agree with this one. But the Stasi filmed its own series of pornographic films featuring civilian female employees dressed as soldiers. In one film, a topless female recruit in a helmet leaps to attention at the command, "Breasts out." Man, as much as communism sucks, it sounds like it'd be pretty badass to be in charge during those times. Breast out, ladies. Yes, Commandant. The Communist Party elite and military officers turned out for the secret premieres of 12 films. Their attendance was logged for blackmail purposes. That's another thing I want to point out. Hey, all you people complying with the state and doing the state's dirty work, you're on their files too. You're on their files too. And they would love to turn against you if given the chance, just to make an example out of you. That's what they do. The official Department of Pornography employed 160 people and 12 amateur enthusiasts between 1982 and 1989. Oh, that's another thing. This went on for decades. This is not a short-lived thing. People with short memories or lack of historical knowledge. When this happens, This doesn't disappear in a year or two. So I hope you're ready as you welcome the state into control. Oh, as you call for the destruction of it, but you don't really mean it, because when it looks like that might happen, you fucking immediately start turning people in who were peaceful protesters. All the while during your 200 plus days of peaceful protesting, you said, don't film anybody, cover your face. Snitches get stitches. They should. And then your goal is achieved via somebody that's not you, and you instantly become a fucking boot-licking piece of shit. Fuck you. The Nazis wrote the Stasi playbook, psychological policing of Germany's population, to root out dissenting voices and prevent people from challenging the government. Do you want to know how they do that now? You voice an opinion on Twitter, they cancel you, they retweet everything, those people retweet everything, and then a fear campaign is launched against you, a smear campaign is launched against you, you lose your job, you lose your livelihood in hopes that you will lose your home and your family and eventually kill yourself. This is psychological warfare, and all these people are engaging in it. Maybe we should start taking our notes. Maybe we should start keeping our Stasi files on who was complicit in destroying people's lives. In that kind of, get this, and that kind of tattletale culture, reporting your neighbors for minor wrongdoing might keep your own family safe. I've been saying it for months, guys. It will be your neighbors that turn you in. It will be these little motherfuckers wanting brownie points to suck the state's cock to hopefully keep them out of trouble. But they don't look at it as them keeping out of trouble. They look at it as them doing the right thing, doing their duty. They're brainwashed. Supporting the state. That's all they're doing. That's all the doxers are doing. That's all the bootlickers are doing. That's all the propaganda agencies are doing. The secret police had so much personal information, current day, y'all give them that, about each citizen, and so much influence over institutions. Institutions. What kind of institutions? Whether you could get into college, get a job, buy a car. Your COVID vaccine will soon be implemented, and you will take it, or you won't get into college, and you won't travel, and you won't have a bank account, and you won't have a driver's license. This is all.
Buy a house.
You won't be able to do anything. They will go after your conveniences. What you take for granted today will be taken away from you tomorrow. You're watching that with the COVID vaccine. And you will comply. Mark my words. You will comply. I used to say that 100% and knew that I was going to be accurate until January 6th. And then I thought there might be a chance people will forego convenience to do the right thing one of these days. Their power was almost absolute and absolutely unaccountable. They didn't have to arrest you. They could socially paralyze you. Don't let them off the hook for this. From now on, they are the Neo-Stasi. They're the people who will fucking ruin your lives. They will not be held accountable. Nobody ever does anything to these people. There's no retaliation. You can't win a lawsuit. You lose everything. You lose everything because you spouted an unpopular opinion that a tiny fraction didn't agree with. And then their cohorts latched on and ruined your life. And your government wasn't there to protect you. They were complicit in it. Large-scale data collection by today's National Security Administration and Homeland Security follows the same pattern. According to well-known whistleblowers, Edward Snowden and Daniel Ellsberg. See something, say something. Culture of citizen informers. The collection of personal info without warrants, the assumption of guilt, all feel eerily familiar. Now, like I said, I didn't know what all was said in this article. I only read the first couple before I posted it, but I'm very happy to see that it ended that way, because it's absolutely true. Dr. Laura Williams teaches communication strategy to undergraduates and executives. She's a passionate advocate for critical thinking, individual liberties. Do you all remember those? Do you all remember when people used to look out for those? Not anymore. No, there is no individual anymore. There's just the state. Am I wrong? It's just the state. Do what the state wants. And I don't give a shit what you call it. You can call it communism. You can call it socialism. Just acknowledge that it exists. But don't lessen it by saying, oh, those fucking communists. Just be aware of what's going on. It doesn't matter what it's called. It matters that it's happening. Don't let it be scapegoated. And don't just blame half the government. Don't rage against half the machine, Tom Morello. Point out what's actually going on, because if you don't, in my opinion, you're just part of the problem. You're just a fucking stooge. And there's a lot of stooges out there masquerading as freedom fighters. And they're all rich and they all hate you. And they all think they're on the side of the man. I mean, the people, the man, not the man. They are on the side of the man. You know, as he's historically, the man, the oppressive government, the man. But these people are unaware of themselves being part of the fucking machine. They think they're getting people civil rights and they're protecting people, but they're protecting a system that has destroyed everything. Why do you think the homeless are on the streets in record numbers, as you say? Why do you think there's so many people addicted to heroin? Why do you think there's so many poor people? You don't blame the right fucking people. You're part of the problem. It all comes back to the government. They're in charge. Are they not allowed to be questioned? Are they not allowed to be held accountable? All you people on the left are just bootlickers. You don't realize it. You're turning on your own people, on your own citizens. You think you don't agree with them. I would say you have more in common than you think, but I don't think you're aware of just how much of a part of the state you really are. You are dependent upon by the United States government to destroy other citizens' lives because, they're just not big enough to handle destroying enough people's lives to make examples out of them. So we're going to use the citizens to do it. I think that's it for today. However, let me pull something up real quick. It's very important. We are going to get to this. There was a bit of confusion, but I'll straighten it out here on the show, and I will straighten it out on... hold on. Before I do that, I need y'all to watch this.
It's time. We are done with it. Born and raised in the state of South Carolina.
What's up, bro? This is the perfect moment in my life.
Born and raised in South Carolina, and I will make sure I am not going to touch him. I'm not going to do anything. I'm allowed to speak. I am allowed to speak.
Lindsay, you're live on YouTube right now. Can you make a statement to the American people? Lindsay, you're live on YouTube right now. Can you make a statement to the American people?
You're safe, Lindsay, I promise you, but we just want answers.
Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Hey guys, give us space.
Lindsay, please make a statement. You are a representative.
You are going to feel it.
Traitor! Lindsay, can you please make a statement to the American people accounting for your actions?
Put your mask on, you fucking asshole.
Lindsay,
you're killing
please
people.
Make a statement to the American people. You are a politician. You are accountable to the people. Make a statement to the people. Why have you betrayed the American people? You think that's funny?
He thinks it's funny.
You think, what's this Animal Farm? You think you're better than us?
Is that a flip phone? Oh, Jesus Christ. That looks like a flip phone, guys. These are your rulers. By the way, these people will be black-sided in the coming days. I mean the people questioning, that dare to question the authority of Lindsey Graham.
What happened to your oath, Lindsey?
You won't be able to walk down the street anymore.
What about your oath, Lindsey? This is the rest of your life, Lindsey. This is the rest of your life, Lindsey.
How's it feel, huh?
Traitor, Lindsey Graham! Pedophile! Lindsey Graham's a traitor!
I appreciate it. This is the rest of your life, Lindsey. This is how you travel.
I think that's enough. I think we get the point. And in the words of the great Maxine Waters, go to the restaurants these peoples are at. Go to their homes. Tell them how you feel. Don't let them be comfortable. Well, I agree with you, Maxine. 1,000,000 fucking %. I agree with you. Lindsey Graham should be talked to by his constituents everywhere he's seen. Every restaurant he goes to, I think the people that he represents should hear from him. And if I see Lindsey Graham or Ted Cruz or any other politicians, I'm going to ask them why they're fucking traitors. Because that's my right for now. I can do that for right now. You better do it while you can. These people are expecting you to go away. Well, the left didn't go away for 5 fucking years. They harassed the right every chance they got. And we went, oh, that's not cool. That's not cool. Well, you know what? I think it's time we start doing the same thing. I think we should start asking or demanding answers from these people everywhere they go. Because they sit on their high horse in their fucking castle and they don't have to deal with you. They just give speeches that they don't even write. As they write laws and implement policies that destroy your life, as they allow other people to destroy your life. I think if you see your politicians in the airport, yeah, I think you're well within your rights to say to them whatever is on your mind. Demand accountability from these people. Lindsey Graham flies like everybody else. He eats at restaurants like everybody else. And before you think I'm going too far, just remember your government let you not be able to eat at restaurants with your family anymore because they let a violent fucking mob harass you, steal from you, beat you, murder you, burn your buildings. I found it really fucking ironic when Lindsey Graham mentioned in his fucking fascist speech that people went into offices. People went into offices. Well, they only gave a fuck when it was their office. They didn't give a shit when it was the office of your car dealership or your business. They didn't give a shit when they went into the offices of your restaurants and harassed your patrons. Yeah, demand answers from these people from now on wherever you see them. Now, let's get to something important. The fascists they've begun targeting journalists. And we have to start a fund that's already been started. Like I was saying earlier, there was a little bit of confusion as to which Give Sin Go we're supposed to plug. We went ahead and ran with the original one, which is fine, but let that get out there. This is the Give Sin Go to pull up, but I got to find the right one first. But it's important, so you know what? Bear with me while I pull up the actual one. If I can. I mean, I can keep talking like this, but I'm not really saying anything. This didn't work last time. No, this is an article. Hawaiian journalist and GOP political candidate Nick Oakes arrested for... Whoa! Somebody's telling the truth. Right. In a headline. Look at this. Hawaiian journalist and GOP political candidate Nick Oakes is arrested for covering Capitol siege. Thank you for fucking reporting what actually happened. No, he did not storm the fucking Capitol. He was a journalist. He was a journalist covering an event that the real fucking media wouldn't. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said real. That the mainstream media wouldn't. And he's in jail right now. He was picked up by the Department of Homeland fucking Security. He's probably being tortured. I hope his wife isn't watching. He's probably being tortured, interrogated. Does he have an attorney? We don't know. Nobody's saying anything. This has not showed up on the books. This has not showed up anywhere. It got around because he never fucking came home. Let me see if I can find the actual Give, Send, Go. It would be nice if they did put it in the article. Feds charged Nick Oakes of the Proud Boys. It didn't take much investigative work. These are your journalists wanting you dead and imprisoned, by the way. That was a blue check that I'm always talking about on Twitter. Notice how they phrase things. These are the same people that claim to want freedom of press and just freedom in general. And you're standing in the way, you bunch of fucking fascist dopes. This is how they justify in their brain that they're on the right side. Sorry, the correct side. I would be shocked if I can find the actual Give, Send, Go. Hold on, I tell you what. Did you find it? It's right there. Oh, here it is. Oh, thank God. So here it is. The Give, Send, Go. We'll scroll this. I want everybody to see it. Hopefully you're watching. I don't know if DLive ever kicked back on or not. But we'll be promoting this. Sorry, I'm pausing. The information here is inaccurate, and I did ask them to change it. They have not, so I will not be plugging this right now. I can't do it. They are, unfortunately, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, gentlemen, and I hope the people running this are aware of that, because I've asked you to correct this, and it is not corrected. He was not participating in a protest in Washington, D.C. So while you're raising money for him, you're fucking him. So please stop doing that. I will be in touch with you again to try to clear this up. But you're not doing him any favors right now. No, he was not participating in a protest in D.C. He was a journalist for Murder the Media covering a protest in D.C. He was covering the Stop the Steal rally, as is his right. Do you still believe in free press, America? I don't think you do. But I won't plug that right now until they get the information accurate. And if you are listening, I'm very annoyed with you right now. But I still love you. Okay, everybody. I'm going to end the stream. Stick around. Check out Murder the Media on Telegram to stay abreast of all current events. And let's see. I was wondering if our guy that started it was here in the comment section. But he's not. Thanks for the diamond, General. I appreciate that. Thanks for the lemons. Thanks for everything, guys. But as I usually say on the show, and I've kind of forgotten to do this lately, please do not donate to this show. There are plenty of other causes to donate to. And right now, that should be Nick Oakes. Let me get off of here and go get that information corrected, okay? Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have as good of a night as you can living in a fascist state